Hey, everybody, it's Leah Ray with Digital Trailblazer. Super excited to talk with you today. We are talking about leverage, how to maximize your time freedom in your business. I can't tell you how many times I have talked to people in the online space who are starting their businesses with the hope, with the plan of actually having time freedom. Like that's the why. That's why they're doing all of this. And yet, all too often, after they get started, they soon realize they are not their own boss like they want it to be. They don't have the time freedom they want. They have become their own employee, and that employee is overworked and underpaid. And it's not the lifestyle business that they were really looking to create. So that's what we're going to fix tonight. We're going to set this up. Hey, Eric, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a long time. We're going to set this up from the beginning, right? How do you create your coaching, your course, your consulting, your agency business so that you create time freedom? All right, real time freedom. And yes, you're going to have to work. Okay. Passive income doesn't really truly hit until you have millions that are sitting in investments just making money for you. So it's not complete freedom, but it is the flexibility where you're not trading your time for money, but you're doing this smart to create time to do what you actually want, to have family time, to have hobbies, to do these things that are really important. So as you jump on, hey, Justin, say howdy. Let me know that you are here today, and let's dive on into this topic. Hey, Gary, Bill, Eric, good to see you. Jimmy, good to see you. Good to see you. All right. So, time freedom. Okay. One of the biggest mistakes that I see is, well, there's two main big mistakes that I see from people is number one, they set up their offer in a way that does not give them time freedom. Or number two, they set up their marketing strategies in a way that does not give them time freedom. Both of these have to be structured with the end in mind. You have to start with the end in mind. And hopefully am I cutting out for you guys? I hope not. Oh, I should be good. I don't know what's going on. All right, but start with the end in mind. If you want a time freedom business, here's what you got to do. Okay. Number one, you need to make sure that your offer isn't trading your time for money. If your offer is trading your time for money, you're not going to be making money, or you're not going to have time freedom because that's what you do at a job. You trade your time for money. So if you're doing, hey, Trey, good to see you. If you're doing one-on-one coaching, guess what? You're trading your time for money. If you're doing freelance work, you're trading your time for money. If you're doing an agency, but you're a one-man show and you're the one who's actually doing the work, you're trading your time for money. Now, I'm not saying that these are bad things, but you have to understand these do not create time freedom. These might be stepping stones for you in your business, but make sure they're only a stepping stone and that doesn't become a platform, that you don't actually get stuck there. So make sure that you've got that. Okay. Hey, Mike, good to see you. Good to see you. So how do you create leverage, create time freedom with the offer? I love group programs. I love group programs and I love courses. Now, depending on what you're doing, a course might be great. If you could sell a course and people can get amazing results by going through the course and they never actually have to receive any kind of coaching, awesome. That's fabulous. Courses are super, super leveraged. There was a time that Todd and I drove tons of traffic and sold immense amounts of courses that were standalone. There was no coaching involved, any of those sorts of things. It was just courses by itself, very leveraged. Now, there's pros and cons to courses. Oftentimes, these courses are going to be low ticket. In the low ticket space, you have to deal with low ticket clients and customers. And so there are some additional challenges within that group of people. You typically deal with more chargebacks, more refund requests, more just annoying things as a business owner. Because people there, I once saw a meme where someone had posted and it was like a $50 client, right? Where they said this message, this is my last $50. This is, you better get me a return on this, da, 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 da. And they had this like big, like, you better show up and, reading the riot act to the business owner. And then compare that to like a $50,000 client where it's like wire check sent, money wire has been sent. Um, you know, we're good to go. There are different tendencies that you see with people who are at the very low end, low ticket space, and in the high ticket space. In general, I prefer to work in the high ticket space because the clients I enjoy better. They're more invested in themselves, in their businesses. There's fewer just annoying issues. A friend of ours, Mark, had said that the longer he's done this business, the more he realizes the scammers that he really runs into, that he sees in the online business space, the scammers are often like customers. And that's definitely in the low ticket space. So pros and cons, right? There's give and take to everything. Now, hey, Kathleen from Boston. Hello. So there's pros and cons to all of it. But if you could have a course that could still be a decent price and make sense as a course without coaching, that's wonderful. If you want to up that price a bit, that's great. How do we do that? We up that price, maybe add some coaching to that. Now, in a group coaching model, I love where you have a course or courses to that are like the backbone. Like this is the how-to. If you want time freedom, you should not be teaching the same thing over and over and over again in your coaching. If you've said something several times, that should be a cue. Oh, I should put this into a video. We have technology. You shouldn't have to say the same thing over and over again. So, in a great group coaching program, you have videos. You've got maybe workbooks that they are going through with video content, and they're learning in the course content. The implementation help comes from the coaching side. So like in our program, we've got amazing step-by-step point and click level videos, tutorials going through everything that you have to do, which is great. That's the how-to. But the part that really makes the difference in people's success is the coaching, which is the accountability, the brainstorming, the feedback, helping to optimize and tweak what they're actually implementing. When you can put those together and make a group program, that's awesome. That's often the best of both worlds, where it's leveraged, it's not trading your time for money, and yet it is still giving people exactly what they need, and you're able to get into a higher ticket space. Okay. So I love a lower high ticket, if you will, group level program for a lot of people. It makes sense in their businesses. Hey, Caesar, good to see you. As you guys jump on, my Facebook is not working. So say hi, and people in the group, let me know where you're watching from. My messages are not coming through. So I need to make sure that this is all working. And if I'll reply to everything afterwards, if I have to go in afterwards and see it. So, but jump on out. All right. Okay. So here's setting it up for leverage. I love group programs. I love courses. If you are in an agency or a done for you model, that means you need to hire staff. You need to hire staff. So absolutely getting people that you can trust, getting people who share your vision of what you want to do with the business is going to be paramount to having a sustainable, awesome business. Hey, Gary. Oh, from Florida. I'm also in Florida from Gary from Florida. I'm also from Florida. I'm in Southwest. So I'm not sure where you are, but I love the Southwest area very much. So it's great. Okay. So if you're in an agency situation, you're done for you, you're freelance, then you need to, when you're doing it one-on-one, which is where you're going to start doing it probably yourself to learn it and to create standard operating procedures, SOPs that you can then hand off to people that you are bringing onto your team. Okay. So situate that well. If you are in the mid and high ticket space where there's closing required on a sales call versus being able to sell fully on a webinar or a challenge, then as you scale, you will be bringing on people on the sales team side. Okay. So I typically say around $25,000 a month. If you're consistently hitting $25,000 a month, then you can bring in a setter which is someone who helps you sort through your leads and set sales calls for you and qualify those sales calls at around $25,000 a month. When you're higher than that, when you're $50 to $100,000 a month, then you're definitely getting into the space where you can hire a closer. So someone to actually close your sales calls for you. Okay. So building up that team to support you, you want to stay the front of the business. You want to be the one who's serving your clients. You want to be the one who's creating content, but you can actually build a sales team to close sales. Now, don't do this from the beginning because you have to really understand the process and be able to manage your sales team ongoing. But I love it. Orange City, Gary from Orange City. I don't know where Orange City is. It sounds like Central. Is it Central? Feels like Central Florida. That's my guess. One of those places that I drive through to go to Orlando. That's my hunch. Okay. So the offer, make sure it's leveraged. Set up a team to support you. Focus on your area of expertise as you're able to build a team. You're not going to do this right out of the gate. You have to get revenue and you have to master the processes yourself so you can create the SOPs, so that you can create exactly what your staff needs to do. Then you can start to hire and bring them on. Volusia area. That must not be anywhere near me because I have no idea where that is, Gary. I'm sorry. I'm down by Fort Myers, Cape Coral, down in that area. Okay, so building your team, setting up your offer. Now, a lot of people succeed at creating the offer. The reality is not a lot of people succeed at selling their offer. They don't learn lead generation. They don't know how to close sales. They don't know how to drive traffic. So that's usually the biggest hurdle for anybody in whether you're trading your time for money or not. Now, I want to challenge you to set up your lead generation, your traffic, and all of this in a leveraged way so you can have time freedom. So what does this mean? Well, the wrong way to do this is to constantly be hustling social media, messaging people to try to pitch them, get them on a sales call. So finding someone in a Facebook group that is related to your topic and sending them a DM and trying to pitch them on a sales call. That's very hustle heavy. If you want a time freedom business, you best not be trying to do that strategy. To get time freedom, you need leverage. So I would encourage you, this is just a super good lesson on why you shouldn't burn the bridges immediately and quit your job before you have revenue in your business coming through consistently. Because I've seen this so much where they quit their job and they're like, I'm going to go do it. Well, I have seen so many of those people that have massive desire. They're working really hard, but they're still not making any money because they don't have the revenue that's needed to put into their business. So don't let this be you. Okay. This should be a side business until it overtakes your main income and can replace it. So keep that income coming through the door because you need to invest into this business to get it where you want it to be. So you want to be able to invest in paid ads. If you want time freedom, you do not want to have to be sitting on Messenger connected 12 hours a day talking to people. I've ran into way too many people who spend 12 hours a day in Messenger to make $3,000 a month in their coaching business. Please don't let this be you. Set this up right from the beginning. You don't have to spend a fortune on ads, but you need extra funds to pour into your business and get your business, your revenue going. Okay. It's a lot of people get the misconception or they start thinking about ads and like, well, I can't afford $1,000 a month on ads. Okay. Well, can you afford $500 this month? Ads should end up paying for themselves. If you've got your message really dialed in, you've got an offer that's hot that people actually want, you've got a system that actually will convert to generate leads, nurture, qualify those leads, and close those leads. If you've got those pieces in place and you just need traffic, well, pour some money into the traffic and you can get a return that you can pour back into your ads. When you're first getting started, all of your money that you generate in your business should just go back into your business. It's not like, ooh, let's go on a family vacation. It should be, woohoo, let's get some more paid ads, or let's get that coach, or let's do that thing that's going to take me to the next level. If you want time freedom, best be ready to pay for it. Okay. So pay your business extensively at the beginning. You don't pay yourself for quite a while. Okay. It's going to keep going back into your business. So you're going to use ads. Another thing that is so important is your content strategy. Are you choosing a content strategy that's going to require you to be hustling all the time? There's a lot of them. I mean, I do some of them. I'm guilty as charged. But when I think of content, some content requires you to keep posting. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you have to keep creating content. The content will sometimes circle through again later, especially for short form vertical video. So like Reels and TikToks, those things have a bit more life to them, but they don't have extensive lifetime value. Comparing that, like we just brought in a client last week into our business, high ticket client who saw a YouTube video that we created 3 years ago, I think. Like we spent maybe, I don't know, 6, 8 hours on a video 3 years ago that has generated leads for us over time. 3 years later, we're still making sales off of that video. That is a very leveraged content strategy. What are good leverage content strategies that you should have in your business? YouTube is phenomenal. Highly suggested. On top of that, podcasting is phenomenal. Highly suggested. We actually are getting ready to launch the Digital Trailblazer podcast. It is a podcast to celebrate and share people's journeys as they are digital trailblazers, building their online businesses. So if you want to be a guest on our podcast as a way to get in front of our audience, we're going to be promoting, even though the podcast is launching and brand new, we will be promoting this podcast to almost 200,000 people that we have across all of our social media and email list. Would you like to be in front of those almost 200,000 people? Do you think that would benefit your business in some way? Yes. So if that is you and you want to get in front, this is not a paid thing. I'm not like, it's not a pay to play. It's literally like, I've got an application, you fill it out, we're going to talk and we're going to see if you're a good fit for the podcast. It's like our calendar is nuts. I've had to open up more calendar options. I've had to train in additional staff. On YouTube, there is a link for the application. So Kathleen Ellis on YouTube, fill that out. Okay. Do that on YouTube. Jory, hey, good to see you, Jory. I haven't seen you in a long time. So yeah, if you're on Facebook, you're going to type in guest. Just put the comment guest and I will send you the application for the podcast. Okay. No harm, no foul. We're not going to like disqualify people and like whatever, like just fill it out and it's not pay to play. We're really looking for good guests for our audience to make a great podcast. So it's a great opportunity for you to get in front of our people. Podcast guesting. So if you're not ready to take on a big content plan, like your own podcast, like your own YouTube channel, well, then for now, get in front of other people's. Be a guest on other people's channels. Do interviews for their YouTube videos, for their podcasts. Get in front of other people's audiences is a stellar way to generate traffic. And depending on what sort of format you're in, it can be an evergreen process. I will tell you, if you're talking about time freedom, which is the topic of tonight, right? Creating time freedom in your business. Summits, being a guest on a summit is really time freedom. Miss seeing your face. Oh, thank you, Jory. Oh, yes, Kaylin, for sure. Yep, type in guest. Okay, so I love summits that other people run. Now, I know that I could run a summit. I know that I could put all of that time into finding guests, into, finding people, organizing all of the copy and the landing pages and the affiliate links and all of the stuff that goes into a good summit. Now, could I do it? Yes. Do I have the time to put towards that right now? Not so much. Like that's a whole huge project that I'm not ready to take on. It's just too much work right now. So I am in a ton of summits that other people run, and I generate leads with every summit because I've got good. Number one, I show up as a speaker on their summits and I give really good training. I really inspire and motivate and give really not just fluffy stuff, but good meaty content for people to latch onto. So when they see me as a guest on someone else's summit, they want to follow through and check out my freebie. I've got a great freebie I give to all of my in all of my summits. Okay, I'm giving and I rotate and I do different ones from time to time. But I've got a good freebie that I'm giving away. So when I do the podcast or I do the interview, they promote it on the summit. They usually give you a link. You can send out a lead magnet essentially, right? So through this process, I'm generating leads and I've got an awesomely dialed in sales system in our business. And this is what we teach our clients because once they've become a lead, they're absolutely going to be invited continually to the next step. They're going to be invited to this group. They're going to be invited to watch a free training. They're going to be invited to step closer and closer and closer until they're ready for a sales call. How many of you watching right now first saw me? Like raise a hand or put it in the comments if you first were introduced to us through a summit. Because I know there's lots of you in our group and following us on social who did. Because I talk to you guys all the time. And I see the tags in my system that say, hey, this person was generated on a summit because I have it set up to show me that. So it absolutely works. So if you get the opportunity to be in a someone else's summit where you only have to show up to be interviewed, that's time freedom, right? You show up one time, you're interviewed, you send out you just end up sending out emails to your list and you can generate a lot of leads from that. And they can be very, very warm leads, which is beautiful. So I love long-term content strategies for time freedom. Okay. You want time freedom business? Don't have a hustle heavy strategy. Have time freedom strategies. So we're talking YouTube, we're talking podcasts, we're talking blogging, we're talking guest appearances, that's summits, that's other people's podcasts. Okay. All of those are long-term content strategies that people can, that content is out on the internet forever and can be found. Okay. So I highly suggest long-term content strategies and know that in general, when you're just getting started, so it's a little different for Todd and I because we've been around for a long time. Okay. We can get things moving really fast because we have an audience in other places and we can send them to, say, our podcast. So if you get selected to be a guest in our podcast, type in guest and we'll get to the application. We're going to promote that from all of our other places. We have people and we can get a big boom of subscribers when we launch the podcast, which is fabulous. But if you're just getting started, know that these long-term content strategies often take a decent amount of time to get going. That's why we supplement that with paid traffic. Those two things together make a beautiful strategy where you're able to turn on traffic right away, start getting leads, start getting sales into your business. And then as you have revenue generating, you're able to create a bit more time freedom. Then you can start creating those long-term content pieces that are going to serve you to bring in leads over and over and over and over again. Okay. So have an offer that's going to sell. Have an offer that's set up for leverage, not trading your time for money. Have a sales team, build up your sales team as you grow. Have paid traffic and have long-term content strategies. Evergreen content. You do those 4 things, you can have a very leveraged business where you're working, 4 hours a day or something. You can really, really set this up long-term to serve you really well. So if you are watching this and you're like, I would love to be a guest on your podcast, fabulous, then definitely type in guest if you're on Facebook and grab that link. If you're on YouTube, if you're on LinkedIn, there is a link in the description. Just click on those links to fill out your application for the podcast. Mike says, have you used buying leads with phone numbers? We run paid ads to get our leads. So we're buying them in that way. If you're talking about more of like solo ad or purchasing leads that someone else generates, proceed with caution. Okay. A lot of those are oftentimes the common story with that is that those leads are old, they're recycled, they have no idea what you're talking about, they are not warm at all. You have much more success if you actually generate the leads yourself, even if you're doing a paid ads strategy. So you're paying Facebook to generate these leads. They're going to be much warmer to you, much more receptive to whatever your offer or your freebies or whatever is if you generated those leads, comparing that to if you bought leads that someone else generated. I really can't recommend that. Todd and I dabbled, it's enticing. So at the beginning of our journey, we fell into that trap many times and tried to make that work, and it was never profitable. It just didn't work for us. So if you're maybe in insurance or maybe some other things, maybe that would work. It's possible, but not in the online business type space. Typically speaking, that's a lot more challenging. So I don't really wouldn't recommend that. Appreciate that. Makes sense from what I've experienced. Yeah, Mike. 100%. Okay. So type in guest and we will get you the link to the podcast application. Type in info. If you're like, well, I want to be a guest, but I don't have a lead magnet or I don't have any of the stuff that you talked about that you need to be successful and I need to figure out how to put this together. Cool. I can help you with that. Let's do that. Let's chat, see what's going on, see if we can help you out. Just type in info in the comments. We'll see what's going on, see how we can help you out. Every Monday, I go live. Same place, always here. You want to join me. So set your calendar reminders. Make sure you jump on live. I had a really good one. Was it 2 weeks ago? We did if I had to start from scratch and get to 6 figures ASAP. That is here in the group. You want to go back, get into the group if you're not there, and the groups where you want to be. That is still, I think, even at the top of the timeline in the group. I'm filling it out now. Oh, good. Yes, Kathleen. That's awesome. So yes, fill out the application, get in on that. And we're really filling up. We're doing about 5 interviews a week right now as we're getting it launched. It's super exciting. So comment guest, we'll get you the application, comment info, let's chat, see what's going on. So have a blessed Monday. I'll see you again next Monday night, 7 Eastern. Have a blessed one, guys. Bye.